Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Supercast Brothers. I'm Zantok here, otherwise known as Lister, and we're here to do another character. We've got Jonno, of course, and oh, it's this guy again. Why is you? Why are you back? How'd you get out of basement?
This is
Confused.
my one chance of redemption. You guys finally invite me back to the podcast. John promised me like a meal if I came in onto your show.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense actually, because I haven't been feeding you lately.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry.
You want Doritos?
Of course, of course.
Well, it's empty, so
Oh
bad.
my god.
That might
Tragic.
have been lunch today. Never said I was a healthy person. But we've also got somebody trying to go through a beauty treatment, and I don't think it's gonna work out for him because you gotta have some element of beauty for that'll work.
It's
Ooh,
just
boy.
not to your taste,
It is not in any
but it is
form.
to many across the universe, as you may imagine.
The fifth element isn't real, Jono.
No, ask Eric. And,
Eric.
Check
What's that?
with Finster as well.
Yeah, because this guy's name is Eric. You know, people don't remember him. This is Eric, also known as Flamezone or Eric the Flame, Colton Chillzone, Austin Weens, Kavina.
I go by many names.
He's gone by all
apparently.
these names.
Hey, thanks for inviting me on the show again, though. It's lots of fun, and this will be the first time I'm part of Smashtopia.
Indeed, it is. And
Yeah,
for a franchise that you're quite a fan of, I do believe.
Of course.
Yeah. But some
Back in the
people in the
day.
Smash community are not fans of this franchise. In fact, they think there are too many characters from in Smash already.
It's one of the earlier topics that was on the show for, actually.
Yeah, actually it was. I couldn't remember what you were on for before, so thank you for reminding me. I was like, I know he's been on, but I don't remember what that episode was.
Amiibo in that one, too. Too much Fire Emblem and Smash.
Yeah. So we're talking about Fire Emblem, another Fire Emblem character. The first one that we're going to be talking about on Smashtopia. We've had a few that we have considered. We probably would have done Edelgard if, Byleth didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're all still bitter about that, and we'll never stop being bitter.
Yeah, ain't that just the way?
Yeah. Oh, all the Byleth fans unsubscribe to the channel already, so it's fine. We can talk shit if we want to.
Yeah, even Jake.
Even Kelly.
Yeah, that was like the one, like,
True.
no one. If it were to be Fire Emblem, like, everyone thought it'd be Edelgard for sure, so
Oh, yeah.
just like...
People pretty much thought it would either be Edelgard, Byleth, or Dimitri. Nobody thought it'd be Claude. Because, hey, how can you make a character that uses a bow a fighter, right?
True.
Yeah.
Wait. Using a bow. Hang on. Guys, I have an idea. What if we talk about a character that uses the bow as one of their primary weapons?
Is it Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
No, it's a Sidgewai.
Oh, even better, yes.
Yeah. And we can also do Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the choices are...
Or the the D or what? Green Arrow, maybe.
I mean, Green Arrow, or you could just do Hawkeye. I mean, he's getting it.
Yeah,
He's gonna have his
true.
own show. I mean, that just makes more sense to me. Like Green Arrow show is gone. They left that. They killed that show off. He left.
Kind
The
of
spin-off
really.
didn't get picked up either. So, oops.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't
Well,
build the ending of your show to lead into a spin-off, not realizing that it's not guaranteed to be picked up. Oops.
Yeah.
Good job, CW. Good job. Anyways, so yeah, let's see here. I guess we could talk about Rolf or Wolt. They could be our bow character. Takumi. Well, there's an option.
Oh Lord. I think
forgetting
Dorcas uses a bow.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone important though. Who?
Quad.
Who? Oh yeah, but I mean, I guess Claude would work, but I don't know. It's
Rolf.
could it
Merlinus.
Merlinus? Does he have a bow?
He has a lot of bows in his convoy.
Huh. Wait.
And
Oh,
also Eric and
I
Tuck.
know. Let's talk about Lyn.
Oh,
Who's that?
Lyn.
Yeah,
Who's that?
the first protagonist in the first Fire Emblem game that came to the U.S., and it turned out she was only there
Yeah.
for a tutorial for dumb Americans.
Not too old.
It's unfortunate, but it's also
And
kind of true.
Canadians as well.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
anybody that's not Japanese, they just go like, all right, here's your tutorial character. It's like, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, you'll play as her
Mhm.
for like 10 chapters, and you got to pick one of our two beefy boys. Like, oh. But what if I prefer this character?
Yeah.
Too bad. Like, oh. All right.
Oh, did we ever prefer
Thanks.
that character?
I mean, not gonna lie. Hector cool. Elliewood?
Yeah.
Better than his son. I mean, who would like Roy? Seriously. Come on. Roy's never gonna amount to anything. He's not gonna be in any crossover games. Come on.
No, he doesn't use a bow.
No, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't have the power of the fire.
No, he doesn't.
He does not.
He's not our boy.
No, I prefer Roy Koopa. He got that pink head and
Does
the
he have-
sunglasses. Hell yeah.
It's like you. Yeah, you might want to get that checked out sometime in the near future.
I don't think these are sunglasses.
Oh,
No. So,
bottom half keeps falling off.
Lyn, from the game that in some part of the world is just called Fire Emblem, and in the other part of the world is called...
Blazing sword.
Sure. I can never... Yes. I can never remember if it's Blazing Sword or Binding Blade. Or Binding
Or I
Sword.
think it's Blazing Blade, actually.
It's something. I can never keep those two games straight. It's a mess. Like, why did you name them so similarly? Come on. That's nonsense. But I played this one, but my copy of the game had battery issues, so whenever I would turn the system off and reopen it, my save file was gone. So I never completed it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Oh,
Bit of a rep. What about you guys? I'm sure one of you is going to be more familiar with Lyn than I am.
I have played it all the way through before. Just it has been a couple of years, like around 5 years. But great game. I think one of my first
I remember.
forays.
Yeah, myself as well. I think speaking for a lot of Westerners, that's the case since it was the first translated title, and thankfully so, because a lot of it kind of came at just the right time. I don't know if Fire Emblem would have really came off in the West as well as it did had it not been for that perfect mix of elements. Of course, Smash being the major player with Roy and Marth, but also just the accessibility of Fire Emblem 7 compared to earlier titles in the series. If we were dealing with Mister of the Emblem or Genealogy of the Holy War, people would have been turned off over here because they're, baby children who can't play or dedicate 10 hours to a single map.
Are
including
you
myself.
are you calling out people who play in casual mode and not normal mode?
Yeah,
them's fighting
they're
words, bitch.
pissed-
I'll fight
they're-
you over that.
Yeah, they're pissy babies like Chucky Finster.
Oh my
Remember
god.
Chucky?
I'm about to load up a save state and take you out before you could use them words. We're gonna reload this battle, bitch.
Yeah, you're a
Not
big,
all
brave
of us
dog.
want to spend 6 hours on a map and then lose a unit and be like, well, gotta start over.
Yeah, that's kind of what the experience was still like with this game as well. Just far less so than earlier titles. Lyn was a great character to introduce us to as well, like the entire gameplay style. That for those first 10 chapters are a nice, tight little story in itself. It all worked out very well and left a great first impression on the game. And when I first played it, it was when it first came out over here, like 2004.
Yeah.
And I remember my house burnt down.
Oh.
Yeah.
You did not stop the
fifth
bandits
grade.
fast enough, clearly.
No, I did not. It was a water heater. It was a faulty water heater, actually.
It was the Bandit, actually.
Yep, and it was 2004. And I still immediately got a Game Boy Advance SP like the day after it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody was
Because
saving up them
I too was a pissy baby, as you may
Still are.
assume. So I cried about my Game Boy Advance. I left my Game Boy Advance in the van instead of bringing it to school that day. And then the van was literally a shell of its former self and had blown up.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to take my Game Boy to school.
Yeah, myself as well. So I was hoping to, I was thinking about breaking the rules, and then I just didn't.
Wow.
Even though everybody else did. Yeah.
Imagine
and
if
then
you
we
were
had a
more of a
good cry over
degenerate.
it. I know. We, my original Pokemon team would have still been alive. Which we cried about that night, my friends and I.
Man.
That's tragic, actually.
You lost Wilbur the Pelipper that night.
Yeah, Telly the Pelipper, as it were.
That's right, Wilbur was the Celio, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's also true. And Buffo as well.
Oh, yeah, poor Buffo. The Grumpig. Man, he was doing so good.
And he was eaten. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was the first game that I played literally the day after that happened. And the series left a huge impression on me, and yeah, I've beaten that entire game. Still like going back to it occasionally, though it's been a couple of years. Everything just comes together really well, especially in those final chapters. I still strangely want Nurgle and Smash, although that's not who we're talking about today.
No.
Nurgle.
But hey, no, I'm down for a villain Fire Emblem. Smash needs more villains in general. Like, come on. In Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
like, we don't need the next fucking Avatar. Whatever Fire Emblem, how many, 16, 17, whatever the next Fire Emblem game is, we don't need to add the protagonist unless they're actually interesting. No more avatars. Just give us a fucking villain. Give us Nurgle or Medeus. Or, not Garen, actually, not Garen.
Ashnard or whatever.
You know who would be fun? Gangrel would be kind of fun, actually. Like, I think
That's
Awakening, we don't need a fourth Awakening character, but Gangrel would be fun.
Yeah,
I find that most of Fire Emblem villains aren't too memorable, though, in my opinion. But
Fair.
yeah, Nurgle, Ashnard are pretty decent. Black Knight's probably be like the biggest one, but
Black Knight is Ike, but even slower.
yeah, basically.
He's gonna be our Ike Echo.
I also think there's something to be said about like the sprite work in those old games too. It's like actually really charming, even to today standards. I think too.
The character portraits are really good. It's like when they remade Shadow Dragon, the portraits were not great.
Yeah,
It's like ooh.
And like the sprites and the battles are like ugly.
Yeah.
Did the same thing to Advance Wars too.
Awakening and Fates have I don't like Fates that much, but Awakening and Fates have top tier character portraits. They did fucking great art with those.
The Awakening with no feet was weird, and I think it's still pretty weird.
Awakening what?
So, like the character models in Fight have no feet.
Oh yeah, the in battle models are odd, especially when it's just like, hey, look, here's DLC characters of past Fire Emblem characters like Lyn, and Lyn is just like an NPC unit but with colored hair. It's like yes, the Lyn of my memories. Right, this is Lyn. Okay, no. What the fuck?
And the Ike of your memories too. That was
the Ike art was bad. Ew. Like all the other DLC characters had good art, except for Ike, where they turned him into a twig with this weird armor. Like, what the fuck is this? No. Rejected. I'll take Priam instead.
Yeah, that was pretty bizarre.
Priam for Ike Echo.
I would take Devdin as well, and Danvid.
But who's the Echo?
I will ask them once they're in.
Okay. So
Alrighty.
we know a little bit about Lyn's kind of. We know how she came to be, what game she's in, but what is her story? Like, who is she as a character? What makes her different than the other Fire Emblem lords? Of which there are many.
There are many, are they not?
Yes.
Eric, would you like to speak to this at all? Or
Sure. I think that and most of the lords, like, well, for one, like, she's actually like a main character female lord, which isn't always like the case in Fire
Pretty
Emblem
rare in
games.
Fire Emblem, and usually, actually,
Mhm.
she's the first. I think she's the first time we've like straight up started with a female character. All the other ones, it's like
Are
you could
optional.
choose male or female, like Ephraim and Erica. So
Or
you don't necessarily
Avatar.
choose between Celica and Alm, but they both still like they're there in the beginning. And Alm is more, I guess you could say, he's more the primary lord, with Celica being secondary. And then anything else has a female option. It's just avatars.
Yeah.
And
There's
other
Micaiah, but-
and other lords, like, they have like more of like a knightly stature, but then Lyn kind of has more like a samurai or like a ronin
Yes.
kind of feel to it.
I like how that like
Yeah.
completely changes her style compared to everybody else. Who's like, I fight like a knight. I also fight like a knight. I'm a mercenary. Well, I'm like a samurai that was born out in the field, so that's cooler. We have
Yeah,
two
she,
samurai
she
lords in the
does-
franchise. It's her and Ryoma.
The lobster man.
Yes.
True.
She was, and that's spoiler alert for a super old game. She is of royal blood, but that's kind of what her chapters are about uncovering.
Right.
Right.
She's going to meet
Otherwise,
with
it's
her
that she lives on
grandfather, I
the-
think it was.
Yeah, precisely. Or she lives on the Sakaean Plains, and she was born out there to her parents who were killed by bandits when she was young, and she's gotten this small inkling of an idea that she can meet her real grandfather before he passes the Marquis Hassan, and so that's the essentially the opening storyline. Although you do get inklings of the overarching one because that's when you first meet Nils and Ninian. And so on and so forth. But the general crux is pretty simple, and it is very very much a different aesthetic up until that point, and kind of just in the series as a whole for Fire Emblem compared to pretty much any other lord with her background. I guess I kind of being the closest.
It's also really smart for them to do that for that game in particular, since it was also the first one to go worldwide, released outside of Japan. Have the character be one that doesn't know about the greater world around them. They're just like, they just lived here, this one little plains area. They're not really, they didn't really train with the sword or anything. I don't remember her doing so. But she's not adept in command or fighting armies or whatever. And so she's learning as the player learns. And that was a really smart way to do it, considering that game was the first one to leave Japan.
Yeah,
I think
it's yeah. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I think that they also had like you could name like the tactician,
Yeah.
default name Mark and stuff. So you're talking with Lyn in like cutscenes and stuff too.
Yeah, and also one of the better ways to do avatars that they've done in the entire franchise. They don't need to be like the main character or like this super important force or half dragon or whatever the fuck. He's just a dude, and he's like, yo, hey, yeah, I'll talk to you. I converse with the characters, but he doesn't have to be important. He's just like the army's tactician,
like
and
you.
that's good enough. Like, you don't have to give the player character the hugest chunk of the story. They shouldn't, in my opinion.
I can agree with that. Speaking to Lyn's story as well, it's such a nice little tight collection of chapters too. She really comes into her own, kind of just happens upon situations, builds up kind of like a freedom fighting army. It's a good little slice of story. And when I was a kid, I was shocked. I was like, wait, there's a whole other game after this?
That's awesome.
Yeah, you gotta pick one or two routes.
And then you go back to it, and it'll be a good old time.
I might boot it up again, honestly. I miss it.
Oh yeah, me too. I still have that Game Boy.
I'm just waiting for the remake so they can give me casual mode and ways to grind out battles. They don't play.
You can do it. You can do it.
No.
Dorcas is the best character. You need to.
I tried Radiant Dawn once, and I got to the point where I didn't have enough characters left to stand any kind of chance. I was like, well...
You gotta reset, though, if you die, if you lose too much.
Yeah, I was too far in the game to even think about restarting and starting. I was like, nah, no, fuck that.
Radiant Dawn.
Instead, I'll just play Awakening in 3 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess
Radiant Dawn is the hardest one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that at the time.
They kind of went overboard with like some of the difficulty, and like if you aren't actually if you play like where you're balancing your team, like everyone gets a turn in the spotlight, you're definitely gonna lose. You have to like pick your best people. You have to bench the terrible people if you have to stand a chance there.
Yeah, I can't do that. That goes against everything I do in RPGs. I round out everyone. Unless I know the character's going to die permanently and I don't have to use them, then I don't use them because fuck off. I'm not wasting my time with you.
What about Meg?
I barely remember Meg. I just know she exists.
She's like the pink-haired, orange armor.
Yeah. The squat one.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Terrible unit.
Fantastic unit. Yeah.
Horrible unit.
I'm going to
you only need Gate Tree.
Truth here and not Jonno.
You think Eric tells the truth?
More than you.
The only knight.
You know who I liked in Radiant Dawn? I liked Har. Har was cool. You know, he got an eye patch, he rides a wyvern. Fuck yeah. Put Har in Smash.
I like him quite a bit.
Let's talk about Har instead. So for Har's standard special, he wields a gun. Wait. Hold on.
And for his final smash, he's walking down through the streets of
Tokyo,
LA, and just throws somebody from out of their car.
Yeah.
And just speeds off and rams into them from off of a ramp.
yeah, just like a GTA. Yep. That's what Har does.
There you go.
All right.
Says, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Maybe he'll even point at somebody and shout the enemy.
Yeah, just like Chucky would.
Sure. Who? Why are we talking about crazy killer dolls? I don't know, but I think it's time we move the fuck on.
True.
Okay. So, how do we begin things? Oh, right. The entrance animation. How else can we enter into a moveset discussion after all? So, Jonno, what do you have for Lyn's entrance animation? And why is it the teleportation staff?
Because Athos wields it, and he's teleporting her onto the stage from the background.
Is Athos in the background?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been... That's a cool idea, though.
I mean... Maybe
if we want to just include that.
Maybe he can be a background element in whatever her home stage turns out to be.
That could be too.
Sure. We'll see what the home stage ends up being when we get there.
I actually do have another character involved in the entrance, though.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know her duo partner for, gosh, what was it? Was it Ninja?
Yeah. Florina.
Her best.
Yeah, her ninja alt that they gave her in Fire Emblem Heroes. For some reason, they're just like, let's have a ninja alt banner. It's like, we'll have Ninja Lyn and Ninja Zahark and Ninja Navarre and Levitain. It's like, why? Why is this a thing? I mean, not gonna lie, her ninja alt looks fucking good, but why?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Hana from Face, she has a ninja alt too.
Yeah. And Har, as it were.
No, he doesn't. I wish. That'd be cool.
So, yeah, Florina's on her Pegasus and comes flying in with Lyn jumping off her mount.
Okay. Not bad.
It's actually pretty solid, actually.
Yeah. Well, if
just
you
to call back to the characters.
If you think that's solid, what do you got?
So me?
Yeah.
So like like those bamboo stands, like where like there was like 7 bamboo like lined up on like a thing like samurai would like cut in
yeah.
like diagonally. Like if it would be it'd be on her starting location, and then she would appear in like a flash of steel, cut it perfectly diagonal, and then she'd start there basically.
Okay. Okay. But both of yours are quite a bit more dynamic than mine is. Mine is fairly
Why is it
simple.
the warp staff?
No, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Some things are overused. Some things were overused, and warp staff is one of them. For me, I'm gonna have Lyn. You know, she's just already on the stage. She's kneeling as if she does this in some other game. Like she has like a pose where like she kneels down, she just stands up and gets ready to fight. That's pretty much all it is. She's kneeling,
Nice.
like praying to her ancestor spirits or something, whatever they do in the Sikian plains. I don't know. And then she just stands up and pulls out her sword. Or, well, she doesn't pull out her sword because the sword stays in the scabbard in my view of it. But she readies her blade.
Just barely peeks it out of the sheath.
More or less. Or puts her
Nice,
hand
nice,
to the
nice.
hilt.
Oh, it looks like I'm Voldemort right now. Look at that.
Do you see his camera? Because I don't.
Wow. Nice.
So now we got to figure out which entrance animation we want to go with. Unfortunately, 2 people's ideas are going to get squashed.
Yeah, just two of ours. What if all 3 of them suck?
I mean, do we want to go with the warp staff?
Yeah.
No.
I think John's is
The
good.
Reptar Mobile.
You like John's where Florina swoops in with the Pegasus and she jumps off?
Yeah, I think that's solid because that's like her childhood best friend and stuff, right? I think gives her like a chance to like be a part of Lyn's identity. I guess. I think it's solid.
Her quote. Oh, it's time for me to take off the face mask. Her quote unquote best friend. Yes. Just as you and I are, Eric.
Thanks,
You
John.
can have him.
You know, I do think that I also like mine.
I'm fine with that. I knew that her and Florina were close. I didn't know like they were childhood friends or anything though.
Yeah.
I thought it was
They
just
are,
like they
they're-
met in the game and they're just like, hey, we friends now. Okay. But yeah, I'm good
No,
with
yeah,
that.
no, Eric's right.
Have Florina drop her
Okay.
off with the Pegasus.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Oh, it was. You should have seen what they're getting up to before the smash.
We are not fan fiction writers, so we will not.
If I were, it wouldn't involve them. It would be like Dorcas.
And Dev Dan.
Yeah, Devden and Damped.
And Dorcas, the 3 of them.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, we go
Anything
from that
starting with a D.
Dimitri.
Yeah.
Dedu.
Although I don't know.
De
Yeah.
Eric.
Oh, all that is canon. Yes.
Alright, well, speaking of not cannons, Kirby Hat. I feel like we all are going to be pretty simple here. It's Lyn's ponytail, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Maybe like a sheath on the back or something.
I was kind of thinking your full head of hair.
Well, yeah. It's not just like the
Okay.
Zero Suit Samus style, because that looks really fucking dumb.
Okay.
It's like the whole hairstyle, but, prominently featuring the ponytail. Come on now.
Yeah. You know, I just took this collagen face mask off of my face.
I don't care.
And it was like it was similar to wearing another person's skin. I was just thinking that maybe he could just have Lyn's head, and it could just look like Lyn, but with like Kirby's feet and arms.
One of these days, I'm going to call the cops. And I'm going to tell them that you're a serial killer who wants to wear people's faces.
They do, yeah. Did it to the mannequin during
This is why we haven't heard from
CPR training,
Brawlinator in years.
Oh, God.
You would have thought that Eric finally got to him.
What are you talking about? Eric was Brawly's best friend. They always got along.
Oh,
We never
I'm
had to
sorry,
yell at
Eric.
Eric for being too mean.
Yeah, true.
yeah. Oh, the Mercurius days.
Oh boy, those days. Some would say they are best left forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
all those-
So what's next there?
now that we've got the interest in the Kirby hat settled, the two easiest things to do. Taunts time! We each got 3, so narrowing it down's gonna be a bitch. Yay.
Oh yeah, this is always fun.
Yeah, it is.
Eric, we tend to, as you may know from seeing our podcast in the
Yeah,
past.
since you've seen every episode.
Yep. The taunts and victory poses tend to be like
Annoying.
where we spend the majority of our time.
Somehow, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of glad though because I don't think I'll be like rank competition because like I actually kind of struggle to really think of relevant ones. It's definitely put most of my focus into moves. So
Well,
we'll see.
good, because you can pick up my slack in the moves department because I did not do good with this one.
I feel proud of what I
My
get.
Lyndis moves, it's like, hey, here's Marth, but different.
Oh,
That was
boy.
my move set, and I failed at it. So
I
I'm
think I have a
really
good idea.
counting on you
Yeah.
two for Lyn here today. Like,
I got something.
not that I'm
like
saying what I have is bad, but it could be better.
Yeah. It's like the Three Bears story.
That's sometimes the advantage of doing these movesets collaboratively. It's like, hey, somebody is not as sure what to do for this person. Don't worry, other person's got it covered.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've needed it at times.
So there have been moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
So taunts then. Who wants to start out?
I could go.
All right.
Get it out of the way.
Go ahead and give us your first taunt then, Eric.
Okay, so I kind of took a look at like some of the quotes that Lyn's used in games, and just kind of kept it simple. For the first one, there, just kind of have like Lyn does like a show off of her swordsmanship, and it's kind of like strikes around like a flash of steel, and then she says, "I shall cut you down." Yeah.
Nice.
I almost had that quote, and then I replaced it.
Oh.
Yeah. So for my first taunt, Lyn is going to just like pull out of nowhere a flower that comes from the Sacaean Plains. She's going to breathe in its scent and let out a content sigh.
Solid.
It's a scent of home in the middle of a battlefield.
Nice. For me, that would be old pizza.
Why is it old?
I don't know. There's just so much.
Maybe you should
John?
just give us your taunt.
Okay. Lyn retrieves a slice of pizza. Okay. Here's what I actually have written down. How about that? You want to get into the reality?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we already let Taunts Victor poses take up the most time, and there's 3 of us, which is going to make it longer.
That's what she. Okay.
Taunt! Now!
Okay. Lyn bends down.
Come on, please. We're serious here.
Continue. Okay. Lyn bends down,
Oh.
unsheathing her blade. And as she's bent down, she unsheaths the blade and throws it in an arc over her head and catches it perfectly as it lands back into the ground, and she returns it into her sheath.
Wait, hold on. Question. First of all, she's tossing the blade in the air. And you said she catches it as it lands in the ground?
I met her hand. Met her
Okay.
hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, lands in her
She
hand.
catches it out of midair and then sheaths it
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than what you said. Eric, what is your second taunt?
Sure. I just have one like where like Lyn takes her bow off her back, or like it appears. It might be like Violet, like where her weaponry kind of just appears quickly. It'll be like that,
Yeah.
you know. And she raises her bows and says, "Prepare yourself," and she like aims it
Nice.
to whatever, like crouches down.
So
Nice.
she uses Ike's voice clip, prepare yourself? Just
They say that a lot, actually. I'm doing a little bit of research. They say "prepare yourself" all the time.
Well, I'm just saying, like when they're programming it, they fuck up and they just port in Ike's voice clip. instead.
God.
So you're just playing as Lyn,
You know
you do
what?
Taunt, it's like, why is Ike talking? Like, oh no.
That
Somebody's
would be
QA
awesome. I hope
department
they
did
would never
not do a
patch
good job.
that. Okay.
Alright. My second one also uses the bow. So, I couldn't really find a good way to really describe this, and the only clip I could find of this motion comes from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And it's a very quick attack, so I couldn't really just get it out there very well. But Lyn is going to take out her bow, and she's going to have it be rapidly spun in her hand, because she's good at doing that, I guess. And then after she spins it a couple times, she's going to quickly knock an arrow on it and say, "I'll hit my mark," before she puts her bow back away.
Oh, that's solid.
Nice. I think that I should establish as well early on that the blade that in question, at least in my mind, is the Manikati.
Same for me.
Her primary katana-esque weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. The blessed sword that the priest gives her when she saves the temple in chapter 4 or whatever. Okay. Okay, with that said, Lyn unsheaths the Manikati and holds it across both hands. You know, you unsheath it, you kind of rest the other one on your wrist guard.
Got it. So holding it like this.
Yeah. She's holding it like that, and she's just admiring it subtly before sheathing it. Because it's a holy blade, as you. Precisely, yes. Yeah, just like that. Visual representation. Yeah. There's some of that going on in this moveset too. Some of that too, yes.
Well, Eric, what's your third and final taunt then?
It's like my third one is like it's like where Eliwood and Hector appear alongside Lyn, kind of like suddenly like Rex would and Power's taunt, and they like cheer her on by like the raising her fist in the air.
Okay.
And by shouting, I guess.
Nice. Nice.
I can just imagine Hector accidentally tossing Armads. He would.
Just like Simon.
Yeah. For my third taunt, Lyn is going to take out her sword. She's going to hold it above her head, kind of like this. I can't do the pose because, I'm terrible. I don't have skills. But she's going to point it forwards and she'll say one of her most memed quote from Fire Emblem Heroes, "The enemy." Just as she points her sword forwards. Had to throw it in there. I had to.
Oh god. I'm glad I never played that game.
Oh, but it's fun.
It's
slightly ridiculous.
Okay. And
like Ninja Lyn
met.
and Pirate Tabarn.
Yeah.
Hot Springs
that's
Camilla.
kind of awesome. Oh, to Eric's taste, yes.
Leo goes on a picnic, and he wields a skewer of Actually, no, he doesn't. Who has the skewer? He uses sandwiches for magic.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Now that is excellent. Well, I say well met because I just realized I remembered that is probably the most used quote in Fire Emblem 7.
Well met.
Yes. Yeah. Well met, Mark. Well met.
Is that your third taunt for Lyn? Well met.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Is it
Does
actually?
she do anything besides saying well met?
Oh, she doesn't say it. The tactician does. Mark.
Okay, so we hear this
How?
this disembodied voice say well met, and what else?
I don't know, because my actual taunt is Lyn grasping the blade in both hands and stabbing it into the ground with her eyes closed, meditating in the wind as it blows through her hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we can select what our official taunts are going to be, we got to do victory poses. So, Eric, continue us out. What is your first victory pose?
We're not going to select the taunts? I feel like I'm going to forget them.
We do I mean, that's a fair criticism. But we do the selection of taunts and victory poses after the fact, because sometimes we swap them around. Like, we've had victory poses become taunts, and taunts become victory poses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really have like good. I didn't write great descriptive motions or anything like that. Just kind of like fancy sword work where she like twirl it around, right? Or like John said, like throw in the air, catch it, or just basically move really fast. Like because I kind of think of like her final smash, like where she like appears like a streak of like of steel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So her first picture pose would be doing like some like kind of almost like a critical animation, like where she like appears like multiple clones of herself, and then like ends in the center before sheathing her blade and saying, "I have neither pity nor mercy for you."
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I have a very similar victory pose. Lyn will be facing towards the background, so her back to the screen. And she's going to be moving so fast that it appears that there's 5 of her out there. Just, but instead of doing like any fancy sword work, after she moves so that there's 5 of her, they'll all eventually just like kind of merge back into each other as she'll give the camera a backwards glance. It's like, see how fast I am? I'm faster than you can see. Don't fuck with me.
Okay.
Right, Jonno.
What's funny here is that I'll just point this. One of mine is extremely similar to Eric's. What I have written down is that a few illusion forms of Lyn appear on either side of the victory screen, and so she's center, and they come into her as she slices down with her blade. So that's pretty much Eric's. That's just Eric's.
I like lots of quotes written in mine, but
so if I'm understanding, yours isn't that she's standing out there like the beginning of her critical hit animation. It's the end of it where she's in the air and all of her in the air forms merge into one, and then she does the final slash.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And Eric's, yours was like essentially the entire critical hit animation, right?
yeah, kind of like the same thing with like the clones and such, ending with the sheathing of the blade and the quote there. But yeah, just like the clones, like the critical hit there.
Right. All right. Well, what's your second one?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have Eliwood appearing, and he like raises his like a Durandal in like victory or whatever, and he says, "Ha, you're no match for Lyndis," whatever, and like they're side by side.
Okay. I like that.
Nice. If they won against Roy, does he be like, "You're a little bitch, son"?
Yeah,
like,
wow,
this is my legacy. Oof.
There you go.
So for my second one, you'll see Lyn perform a backflip and then rush towards the camera with her sword drawn as if she was trying to cut the camera in half.
Nice. I like that one quite a bit. Okay. Her back turned towards the camera. Lyn sheaths her blade, saying, "My work here is done," as she runs into the sunset.
Where's the sunset?
Not a real sunset. It's just running into the back.
So she's running into the background.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I runs to the sunset and be like, well, which direction is she running? I mean, it's kind of important.
It's upwards. The sun is up.
She's running up?
Yeah.
This is your background up, forwards. These are different things.
No, it's up.
This is a 3-dimensional space.
Yeah.
You don't run up.
I can do it right now. I want to see.
Yes.
Okay. Oh no.
No, see, you went off screen to the left. You did not go up. And then you're coming back from the left. And now we're just moving on. Hey, Eric, what's your third victory pose?
Okay, so this one's kind of spoilers for the moveset, I guess. But
I don't give a shit.
So Hector appears on the other side of Lyn, grabs a wolf bell out of Lyn's hands, hoists it over his shoulder, and says, "Save some for me next time, will ya?" And it ends.
He grabs a what?
The wolf bale, like his axe, out of Lyn's hands.
Oh, okay. My third one is Lyn will be crouched down with her sword drawn at her side, and she's going to spin around herself and then end it off by pointing her blade at the camera.
Nice.
Solid.
All right, Jonno, finishes off.
Okay. On the Pegasus, Florina comes swooping into view with Lyn at her back. They smile at the camera as they fly through.
No, I can see that. Like swooping in, picks her up, and then flies off. But then like a mid-air shot.
Fairly,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fairly close up when they zoom by and they fly off.
I can picture that.
So now we have the hard part.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh boy. So which taunts, which victory puzzles do we want to officially slot in? Is there anything that anybody is feeling particularly strong about that they definitely want to have this?
Yeah.
So
all of mine, all of Eric's, all of yours.
We can't. It's a limit of 3 taunts and 3 victory poses.
What if it's an omnidirectional pad?
God, no. I am not adjusting every single character to have 9 fucking taunts. I flat out refuse.
I haven't like in my mind, like if it's actually been a real thing, and now I've heard all of ours, I think that the best format would be the first taunt would be something to do with their sword, right? Like some kind of like show off of the sword. Second one would be some show off of the bow, and the third one would be like one of like the peaceful options that you guys had, like either Zantok's flower or like John's sword in the ground, right? Or like I think one for the sword, one for bow, and then one for kind of miscellaneous or a peaceful, like just collection there, recollection. But.
I'm not opposed to that, Jonno.
Kind of an easy way to streamline it, and it showcases her personality and her moves. So.
Yeah. I think we mostly had sword-related ones. So let's look at the bows first and see which one of those we want to use.
Actually, I think I would just vote for Zantok's here because I think I like his quota better too.
I'll hit my mark. Okay.
I like Lyn having quotes. I don't know how do you guys feel about that? Because it's like a big thing in my theme here. It's like she always says a quote.
It's a Fire Emblem thing, yeah.
I mean, for me, it depends character to character. I don't necessarily think that every taunt, every victory pose needs a quote, but there's nothing wrong with having quotes on some of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, even for a character like Lyn, who wasn't particularly corny, you still get the
enemy
smash with, the enemy. You get the fucking taste my blade.
I fight for my friends.
And that came out of nowhere too.
Honestly, I really hope that for the next Smash, going on a different subject here, I hope Chrom gets a slight rework to his taunts, because one of his ults he has from the heroes, where he's in his Exalt armor, they had him do a quote where he says, in a bit of a goofy manner, "I'm being helpful." It's like, please, dear God, make this a taunt because it's fucking hilarious. He sounds slightly distressed when he's saying it. It's amazing.
That's awesome. And get him out of Robin's Final Smash while you're at it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I think
Piranha Plant in there.
So the one where she spins the bow, pulls out an arrow, and I'll hit my mark. I'm down for
I'd
that.
vote for that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
To represent like the bow.
Yeah, that would be the bow.
That would be the bow.
Okay, so what do we want to have for like the peaceful option? There's one where she steps sword into the ground. There's one where she smells the flower. Was there another one?
I think probably like the supporters, Eliwood and Hector, appearing alongside her.
That's right.
It's kind of like a theme of my moveset there. That's kind of like why they're appearing so much. But
I kind of like them being there. I feel like if we do that though, maybe not have the 2 individual ones of their victory poses, because they're already in the taunt.
Or maybe just combined somewhere, right? Not sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're like combined in the taunt instead of the 2 separate victory poses. Jonno?
Orders?
What? What? Whoa. What was that?
What?
Are you playing Fire Emblem Heroes right now?
Here?
I'm trying to get the enemy quote.
Oh, okay. So let me just address this. I got a text from my day job real quick.
Apparently, I can't
While
make it happen.
Lister
I don't
finds the
know.
quote.
Let's go.
It's random.
Got it. Let's go. Orders?
What?
Got it.
Oh wait, maybe it's
Stay close. The enemy.
there. It is. I forgot. It's
That
not
is
the
just
base version of her.
atrocious.
It's her brave alt, which says the enemy. So that's why it's taking me a while.
You're right there.
Nice.
What now? You're right there.
Come on, Chrome.
Here to help. What now? You're right there.
Fucking useless. Anyways, so we're doing spinning the bow, and then Hector and Ellie would popping in to do cheering her on as she fights. Sword taunt. What we're doing?
And we voted for that one then as a peaceful option.
Jonno?
I am fine with it.
Then
I
yes,
am
we
fine
vote
with
for
it. I think it's it's fairly well representative of the game. So good.
Okay, I'm down. It's part of the moveset too, so it would make more sense later.
We'll see. We'll see if we break your whole moveset or not.
Yeah, we'll see.
All
It
right.
happens.
So that last sword taunt then, what do we want to do?
Because I didn't really have a
So-
descriptive one.
Mm-hmm.
I just have the quote. So I think that maybe even combining like one of your guys's like movements with like a quote like "I shall cut you down" would be decent. I shall
Jonno,
cut you down.
what were your sword related taunts, Jonno?
Each one of mine were basically sword related.
Okay, well, refresh our
It
memories.
was the one, the bending down and throwing the sword in the arc and catching it. The one where she's looking at it, holding it in her hands, and the one where she plants it into the ground and meditates.
And then the one I had was one where she holds her sword up above her head, pointing it towards whoever she's fighting.
Yeah, kind
More
of
like this, but
samurai style. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the
that.
pose I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Anybody-
What was that?
No, I'll just gonna ask if anybody feels particularly strongly.
You know what? I'm thinking. First of all, there's I think mine that stands on its legs with if we're pairing it with that quote
Mm-hmm.
is the one where she's spiraling the sword in the air because
It's the only one that
otherwise-
really fits that
there-
quote.
Precisely. And then even then, I think that as far as character goes, I actually think yours is superior, and it's also simpler. That's
Eric?
kind of where I stand, but Eric may have other thoughts.
I think that the quote pairs well with John, but I could also see like just listers without any quote related to it as well. So I'm kind of torn on those two. Like combining the quote with John's spiraling sword versus Zantok with his silent overhead samurai kind of pose. So they're both solid.
We could use that quote on a victory pose as well. Like we can move it from a taunt to a victory pose.
Yeah, true.
Definitely something we've done before.
But it's like it's kind of like I shall cut you down, which is like kind of more like a threat, and then the victory pose be like more like when it's over, right? This doesn't make as much sense, but
I mean, maybe, but does Crom make sense? Does Crom make sense being Robin's victory animations? No.
I guess. What do you guys think?
And I mean, she could also be essentially warning the people that lost skin. It's like, you cross me again, and I will cut you down.
True.
Or maybe we can do like John's, like where with like the outstretched hands, like the sword and hand, and she kind of like meditates for a second, maybe has like a golden glow or something, like as to refer to like her royal bloodline or something, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Because as it stands right now, I got one, Lister got one, and then maybe John could get one too there, right?
Oh, I may just sweep the entire moveset though.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure where to go here myself. I'm trying to collect my thoughts though. You present a lot of interesting ideas to the table. Lister, do you have a lean?
Yes.
You're gonna be like, I choose mine.
I choose mine. I'm thinking about it in like terms of a taunt. I feel like that particular pose works better as a taunt than here. Look at my weapon.
Yeah,
Like that to me feels more like a victory pose than a taunt.
well, yeah, and there is still the possibility. I think that, and I think all of my taunt propositions are all solid. They could potentially, depending on where the victory pose animation discussion goes, where we'll see. But I actually do concur, and I do think that Lister's personally anyway. I think Lister's is the stronger option.
Okay. Then in that case, do we want to either have it be with no quote, her saying Eric's quote, "I will cut you down," or my quote of the enemy?
Oh gosh.
You know what? Fuck it. The enemy. I mean, come on.
Why not?
It's Fire Emblem. It's Smash Brothers.
It's cheesy.
It's cheesy. So it happened. People would be outraged if it wasn't there. So,
but the Fire Emblem Heroes fans would be like, "Oh my god, yes!" While also simultaneously hating it.
I think it's good.
Yeah,
it's funny, is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
If it wasn't a quote that got memed by the Heroes community, then yeah, no, it's just kind of dumb. But considering that they made it a whole thing, it's like, yeah, this is funny.
Yeah. No, it's like if cats were in Smash, then one of the quotes would definitely be "All your base are belong to us."
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about like just like cats. It's like, what? Why would cats be in Smash? Who's putting a cat in Smash? What the fuck?
The Mario series, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But that's our 3 taunts. We've got spinning the bow, we've got the enemy, and we had Elliewood and Hector making an appearance. So, victory poses. We got to pick 3 more of these. What we thinking? Personally, at least as far as my stuff is concerned, we're going to have one of the critical hit animations. We know that. It's just a matter of which one we want. And then I kind of like mine with the backflip and her rushing towards the camera.
Kind of reminds me of Inuyasha.
Never watched it.
I also would vote for the Pegasus coming back in for John's Florina. I think that should be one of them too.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you there. Good taste, buddy. I can. Okay. And then Eric's was okay. So Eric's was basically the entirety of the critical hit animation from the game. Mine was the last half of the critical hit animation from the game,
and mine was the first half.
So between us all, we have the entire thing twice.
Yes.
Let's just do that.
I kind of like the
entire thing twice.
Yeah.
No.
I think maybe like the full thing should be left for something else, and I think maybe like having Listers as like the show off version, like which just show off her clones, and then like the camera, the head tilt would be pretty solid for the victory pose, in my opinion.
So you think we should say the whole thing for her final smash?
Probably.
I mean, I was kind of thinking that there's a decent likelihood that'll.
Maybe we'll discuss that later. Let's be real. It's the obvious choice. Come on.
All
right. So we're saying the first half of her critical animation that I put out there, and Florina coming with the Pegasus. Did you guys like the backflip one, or do you have a different idea?
like the other two, like I could see like maybe Eliwood and Hector combined, like putting their hands on her shoulders potentially, and like kind of like giving her like a fist bump or something, you know, like instead of having them one by one, and have them both there could be potential one, or it could just be more of her like just solo like swordsmanship display, like Lister's saying. I'm kind of torn between those two.
Yeah, yeah. They can hoist her up in the air and throw her.
Yeah, something like that. No, well, I'm a cheerleader, but like on their shoulders or something.
It would be funny, but
no. Huh.
What you thinking, Jonno?
So, let's see. I'm trying to collect my. What are our specific options here? What are we weighing? Just as a quick rundown.
Eric was talking about combining his Eliwood and Hector appearances into one, kind of like how they're in the taunt together. And then I have the one where she performs a backflip and then pulls out her sword and just like rushes towards the screen and slices at it.
Oh, nice.
It'd be also kind of funny if it actually like cut it in half and it fell onto its side like it's an actual camera that was standing there or something.
It would be really funny.
Oh man, that's difficult. That's because one is acknowledging the three main characters of the origin title, and the other is very, very, very dynamic, like great dynamics. And I take it that I'm kind of acting as a tiebreaker.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. Hector and Ellie would appear in one of the taunts, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do. Okay. And then cheering her on, correct? That's what we more or less established.
Let's take a step back, Eric. Was there a particular action or pose that they take in that taunt? Just so I'm clear on what they're doing.
Like I think that they both appear on either side of her. Eliwood probably lifts his left arm, and Hector's right, just kind of like fist in the air kind of thing.
Okay, so pretty much exactly like what Rex will do in that one, where he jumps up and he raises.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanted to make sure.
Nice.
Or potentially we could do Listers with the camera slash, and then either Florina or Hector Eliwood instead. I don't know.
I mean, we have Florina in the entrance, and we have Hector and Eliwood in the taunt.
Mm-hmm. I keep on trying to bring them up though because like they're a major part of the moveset. That's all, but of mine.
Okay. Nice. Huh. I will. I do have a tentative lean.
Okay.
If the moveset goes one way or another, maybe we can revisit this.
Fair enough.
And my tentative lean is in this instance towards Zantoks.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just too entertaining. There's the argument that it could be used with other characters, like Takamaru for it. But
Or Jin Sakai.
You know what? That could be true enough.
Yeah.
Yep. True enough. So that's. I don't know. I think it fits well with them. See, we told you that this takes the longest amount of time.
Yeah, it's tough.
The victory poses and thoughts. Yeah. I don't know. So if we go with that though, so we have a downward strike with a critical hit, right, where she's running towards the camera.
Yeah.
We have Florina, and then we have that one with the sword again.
Well, you just listed 4 things.
Yeah.
We have Florina, we have the critical hit, and then it's either... currently, it's either Eliwood and Hector versus rushing towards the camera and slashing.
Okay. Difficult. You know what? For the sake of brevity, I'm going to say no take-backs. I already voted for Listers.
Okay. With that, we can now move on to the only thing that people actually care about, the special moves.
We already talked about the Kirby.
Alright.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start off with mine on these. I had difficulties with this because Fire Emblem characters just in general, are kind of hard sometimes to make a new moveset for, unless they have like unique special skills that are actually unique to them, like Three Houses has with their gambits or the different heroes relics. So I struggled a little bit to try and make something that was a little bit unique for Lyn, and what I kind of ended up with a lot was just Marth, but different. So we'll kind of just see how things go here. But for my standard special, I have Swift Money Cuddy. She pulls out the Money Cuddy, and this is a move that you can charge if you want to. If you don't, she's just going to do one super quick slash downwards, and that's it just comes out super fast and just hits the opponent. Or you can kind of charge it up a little bit, and she'll go from 1 hit to 2 to 3. And then that'll be the whole special. It's kind of like, in a way, Marv's Shield Breaker, but it's not going to be like a thrust, and it's not breaking shield. It's just like, you want to do 1 hit, or you want to do 3 hits. Up to you.
Nice. So like a kind of like a different feed on the dolphin, not dolphin slash, but
Shield
Marth's
breaker.
side essentially. Okay, yeah.
Not his side special. Not his side special. Because she's not moving as she does it. She's staying in place.
Oh, okay. Cool. Who wants to go next? Me? Eric? Me. Okay. Yes, I do wish to procure this first move of mine. Yes. So, I kind of... What the hell?
Hello?
Okay, I kind of want the... Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of want the obvious route here, in a sense. The move is called Brain Flinch.
Okay.
Oh, like a legendary bow. Yeah.
Yeah. So a big old blow the size of like something a nomad would carry, for instance. The longer the special attack button is held, the longer Lyn will twirl the legendary bow, similar to what a critical hit looks like with one, and similar to the taunt that we have proposed and included in the moveset already. The attack doesn't charge, so it's like fail not in that sense, where it's just one great bolt that shoots forward. And so it takes a couple of seconds to load regardless, but the reason why you're going to want to hold it and twirl it in place for upwards of 4 or 5 seconds, I guess, is because it can, for a certain period of time before the bow just has to unleash that shot, the bow can reflect projectiles thrown at it as she's spinning it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's kind of that.
Okay. I was considering a bow move for the standard special, but also just kind of like every single bow character, both in Smash and that I've made out for the wiki, has the bow be the standard special. And I'm just like, no, I don't want
Not,
it.
not again.
We might go with that,
Yeah, I guess,
but
yeah.
I didn't want to design it that way. It's like something different. The bow can go somewhere else, and it does. But for me, I was not putting it on standard. I would rather make it be similar to Marth than to do that for a 20th character.
Yeah. Similar to Marth, like 4 other Fire Emblem characters already are in the game.
Fair. But that's why it's a 3-hit move. It's different.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Eric, what is your standard special? And is it the bow?
Yes, but also to be fair though, it's only Violet that has the bow for Fire Emblem characters, right?
For
So-
Fire Emblem characters, yes, but I'm talking about like other Smash Bros. Characters like
Yeah.
Link, Toon Link, Pit,
Pit.
Dark Pit, and then other characters that are just on the wiki, like the Decidueye. Anything that has a bow uses it in the standard special, it seems like.
I got you. But still, I did keep that in mind too. But so mine's is called the Brave Bow. I do like John's using like the actual legendary bow instead. Maybe we can change it to that. But the reason why I did the Brave Bow is because like Lyn like readies herself and like aims it right. It kind of similar to like what John was saying, where it locks her down for a bit, or like Violet, where it like locks her down for a bit. But she can release it early if she wants to. If you just kind of tap it, it just fires off one.
Mhm.
And if it gets like the fully charged point, it fires off like 2 in a row, kind of like the Brave Bow.
Okay.
And they don't do crazy high damage, but there's it's not nothing like Byleth's like insta kill, right? But it's just like a stronger version. But the gimmick or like the mechanic that comes up here is that if you press like if my move set, if you press jump at the right moment of her charging special, so she does a different animation or a different move. So if you charge up the bow to nearly full, but then you press jump, she instead does a backflip and fires off like 4 arrows in like a scatter shot pattern that do minor damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Jonno looking kind of nervous over there when he mentioned that scattershot pattern.
Yep.
And it'll be like 4, like you're hitting twice with a brave bow. But
Okay.
Excellent.
So
That's pretty cool.
side specials. For me, I've got Astra as the side special, which in Fire Emblem it's a 5-hit move. So I have this kind of taking on the form of something similar to how Ike's quick draw, just has him travel across the stage in one hit. Except for this move, as Lyn is charging it, her stance is going to just like with each step get lower and lower to the ground, and then once you release, she'll dash forward the distance again, increasing the longer it's held. But she'll also be doing different slashes as she goes, and if somebody's in her way, they'll be carried along with her, taking each hit that she unleashes as she travels forwards.
Very nice. Kind of a little bit akin to Sephiroth's subspecial.
Yeah, actually, it's a lot like Aquaslash.
Tiny bit.
Except,
Nice.
it makes more sense as a side special than Aquaslash does as an up special.
Also true. They really threw one over.
It's really odd when you're using like, oh hey, he has this move. I'm gonna use side special. Wait, that's Shadow Flare.
Yeah. Still happens sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Same.
Mine, honestly, it's the lesser version of yours. Mine, I just named Quick Draw, and the only notes that I have is the same as her AT attack. Taste my blade.
Fair enough. So instead of like her having like constant slashes around, she's just here, and now she's here.
Yeah, precisely.
All right. Can you angle it so that she goes like up or down at all?
Yes. And I didn't just think of that because you mentioned it.
My bad.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, what you got?
So actually I did another kind of Byleth-y kind of thing, like where she actually dons like the legendary weapons of her 2 comrades, Hector and Eliwood.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the left special, she actually dons the Wolf Bale, and it's like it kind of appears out of nowhere, right? And she's surrounded by blue flames, like to represent Hector, right? Like she's kind of like channeling his energy. And you can charge like the side special. She has the axe poised like in like an upward strike with like the bladed edge, and then you charge it for as long as you want. If you don't charge it, it's just like a slash. If you do charge it all the way, she drags the enemy along, and you have a moment like at the end of like the dash to press jump, and then she'll jump forward and drop kick them and push them forward. Or if you just let it go through, she'll like overhead slam them on the other side of her.
Okay.
Nice.
And you said that's what she would do with Hector's weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Did she have one with Eliwood's weapon?
Mm-hmm. Later on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that like I heard you say left special at one point. I was like, oh, is this going to be a Terry Bogard situation?
Oh no, I just meant side special.
Okay, so it seems like so left she does something with Hector's weapon and right Eliwood. Oh wow, holy shit. But okay, all right.
Nice.
So up special, mine is Swift Sparrow, which is one of her bow techniques, and it's just gonna be pretty simple. She leaps up high into the air, and she'll shoot an arrow diagonally downwards. Just the one though. However, you can instead hold up special, which will cause her to jump only a short distance up in the air, and she'll unleash a volley of 3 arrows at once. So if you're right up in front of Bowser, hold it down. All 3 arrows are going to hit him in the face. Donald looking pretty nervous there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt when Eric was mentioning, oh yeah, she jumps up with the bow and she leads out of volley. It's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Because mine is called Airshot. And Lyn leaps up in the air, and it's kind of like an backflip, similar to Zero Suit Samus or Greninja. So that's basically that singular input, and then she wields the legendary bow again with the press of another standard attack button, and unleashes a big, like a scattered rain of arrows down, and that pushes her up a few more feet in that direction. And that's what I had. So it's like a yeah.
So to make sure I've got a clear picture here on this one, she backflips, then she fires the arrows. What direction does she fire the arrows in? Downwards?
Yeah.
Okay, so
downwards towards.
So she's backflipping to the side and then shoots.
Or rather,
downwards.
at a diagonal, shooting them at a diagonal. Yeah.
Okay, but she's not leaping up. She's just going back a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and so shoot diagonally, and then I'll essentially push her further backwards.
Right.
Okay. Eric.
For the up special, I have Lyn has the Durandal, which is Eliwood's weapon, and then so she adorns it in she's embodied by red flames to represent Eliwood's spirit there, and then the first part of the attack is kind of similar to Roy's, and both the arc and the speed, and then if she holds the button and she at the height of her jump, then she stabs downwards, still moving forward with momentum. And she slams down and erupts in a fiery explosion when she reaches a flat surface. And if she catches somebody in the up special at the very height of it, she can do kind of a Byleth move if she presses jump at the correct time to springboard off them and send them plummeting down when she gets more height.
Okay, so
nice.
Again, just make sure I have a clear picture. It's kind of like a flaming dolphin slash, where she's leaping up at first. If she carries somebody up with her, then she'll backflip, or not backflip, but she'll kick them down. She'll go further up in the air.
You have to press jump at the right time to do that move. Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise she will automatically then flip and start driving downwards with her sword and hit the ground.
Mm-hmm. Or she'll carry momentum still. She'll still be moving forward, but then she'll be slamming downwards, kind of like the me swords fighter up special. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
The
All
me
right.
sword fighter. We have one of you, Eric, as a me sword fighter.
Oh yeah.
It makes funny noises. It's like
oh god.
Baby Ouija time, except baby Eric time.
Oh boy.
All right, so down specials. Sometimes the most boring of specials in Smash, especially with Fire Emblem characters, where they're always counters, right? And we like to try and do things that aren't counters, right? Well, I didn't.
Yeah, mine's counter.
really.
I don't call it counter, though.
Wow.
I call it vantage. Because at least that's an actual skill in Fire Emblem, where it's like, oh, you're hitting me? I'm hitting you first, bitch. So, hey, it's a counter, but instead of sending them far away, it's kind of like a Ryu's down special, or they just send them into a crumple state.
Nice.
The animation I had kind of in mind for it was like her assist trophy, except she doesn't move for it. She stays in place and does that slash.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's my my amazing down special vantage. Jonno.
Not bad. It's functional.
Not good, but
So mine is mine is called Feint Slash.
oh, okay.
Feint.
Right.
So when disappears in a flash for a brief moment, and you can angle this attack to go a little bit forward or a little bit backward. And when she reappears, you can press the special attack button to have her unleash a powerful blow with her sword at the hilt. So she attacks with the hilt, and that will knock opponents down and make them faint in a way similar to Ryu's down smash.
What?
This happens a lot.
Yeah. It does.
But
Toxicity was a good example of that.
Oh yeah. So is Gengar.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know if I made it clear before, but the names of my special moves are just the names of the weapons she wields because they're all different weapons.
Fair enough.
Standard
Yeah,
Brave Bro
yeah.
side, Wolf Bale, up Durandal, and then this one the Manicati there. And so it is like a counter, like as with Fire Emblem as you would expect. It is a little bit different though. So if she goes like if you press down B, she goes into her counter position. If she's hit during that time frame, she like does like a straight slash, like a flash of steel, appears on the other side, right? And the trick with this as well is if she's hit from she dashes in the direction that she's hit from. So if she hit from like the top left, then she'll dash up in that direction. And then if you press jump at the exact time that you're hit as well, while in the counter state, then she does a dash and a dash back too, for 2 strikes.
And that's
Nice.
if you press jump.
Yeah, like while she's in her counter state and at the right moment, like when she's hit, then she'll do like the double slash, like forward and back through them.
Interesting. And you're angling what direction she slashes them through, either like straight forwards or diagonally up, diagonally down.
Yeah, depending on like where she's attacked from, right? Like if she's hit from directly above, then she'll go straight up, and if she's hit like from the top left, then she'll go left. And if you press jump at the perfect time while you're in counter state, then she does like the double down for like extra damage.
So unlike most counters, this is an omnidirectional counter. Interesting.
That's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like her final smash and like how she's like a quick. I always think of her final smash when design that move there. Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, here's this trophy, not final smash.
Right. Well, maybe her final smash. We'll find out. We'll see. Speaking of, are we ready to all say what our same final smash?
Buddy.
Critical
Or
hit.
the only thing that'll be different is maybe their names. So mine, Lyn's gonna run forwards. If somebody's in her way, then she will perform I don't have her like doing. It's technically not like the actual full animation because I'm cutting out the clone part of it where she splits the clones at the very start. And so she's going to. I mean, I guess it could be there because the point with mine is that it's not going to be a cinematic the way I have designed mine. So I guess you could have her do the clones, like they'll appear, then she's going to dash forward, and if somebody's in her way, you get the first hit, and all the clones will appear around, and they're going to just do their attacks before she does her final hit, but anybody else on the battlefield that is in the way of these hits will get hit as well, but only the initial character at the beginning will be trapped in the full hit of the attack. Oh, and a name. I don't call it critical hit because that's boring. I call it Pride of Sakai. Or Sakai, actually, because that's how you say it. So Pride of Sakai.
Yeah. Good. Pretty much the only thing different between us is the name, honestly. Functionally, it works a little bit different. Where again, I'd like the victory pose where I had it cut in basically halfway through. So I start with several illusion forms of her appearing on either side of her in the air, and then she collides into a singularity, and they all strike down on the opponent at once, and they can drag in other opponents as well because it's not a CGI cinematic either. It's the same. It's functionally the same.
What do you call it?
Except I like Pride of Sakai better. I just called it critical hit, but Pride of Sakai is better.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah, I also called mine critical hit. Like the initial part, where like you register the attack, or like you get the final smash and you press B. Like she'll do like the dash forward, like her assist will be like she'll straight dash forward, and anyone who's caught up in it has the whole animation play. It will be like I was thinking more like a CGI like as is currently in Ultimate is like what I had envisioned, but like with the clones, they're all striking down at the opponents in the center, and it gets just major damage, potentially no knockback, but rather KO if their HP is high enough, and also has like the health bar animation from like the actual game at the very bottom. They're like depleting to 0 or whatever.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I mean, I think we all knew that's anybody designing literally anybody designing moveset for Lyndis. It's gonna be that animation for her final smash. There's just some characters and certain moves that have to be in certain spots. Like anybody who wanted to make something for Spyro, Fire Breath. That's your standard. If you do anything else, then what the fuck? But
I agree.
We've got one last kind of attack to go through. Our extra skill, which for those who may be joining us for the first time, it's really just a 5th special attack. We have this function when you're holding on special and the shield button, much like the Inkling being able to recharge their ink and ultimate. It's just a fun little thing. It's kind of like a wild card special move, as you will, where you're not beholden to, up specials must be recovery, or down specials are usually some form of defensive technique. We can do whatever the fuck we want here. So for me, this is where I put in the usual use of the bow. Instead of being on the standard special, I call this quick fire, which is another bow technique. For this one, instead of there being like there's no charge up mechanic to it at all, instead she just you tap it and she fires an insanely fast bow projectile. Just the arrow just goes from the bow at the end of the screen, pretty much. It's that fucking fast. Small amount of damage. You cannot spam it like you could with Fox's laser, but it is amazing at interrupting opponents' attacks.
Sweet.
That seems abusable.
That's why I said you cannot spam it like Fox's laser.
Yeah. So a flinch centric move, kind of.
Pretty much. But it's small damage. But like if you know somebody's about to like if Charizard's coming at you with Flare Blitz, quick fire. Stop that shit right now.
No, I like that.
That's solid.
Pulling up mine. You know how Eric has been pretty good about talking about his various weapons and whatnot in this.
Sure. Except it's Final Smash, which isn't a weapon name, so he kind of lied to us there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. How about the Soul Caddy?
Fair enough.
So, my extra skill is weapon swap. And in it, Lyn can swap between the Manikati, the Durendal, and the Wolfsbale.
Ah. So all the specials change too?
Okay. You said kidding. That makes more
kidding.
sense.
I'm kidding.
Like, I was trying to wrap my mind around how this would work. It's like,
Yeah. Eric, quick question. I like Wolfsbale quite a bit too. Was there any kind of thought process between choosing it over Armads?
Well, actually, the thing about that is that it's going to come later in the costumes, but I was thinking the Lord version in Blade Lord actually changes whether or not it's going to be the Manikati or the Soul Caddy or the Wolfbale or the Armad.
What about Durandal or whatever else?
I think that Durandal is like it's like Durandal a rapier for Eliwood, and I'm just like, well, Durandal is way more important than a rapier, so it's just in both. But.
Fair.
Yeah, Eliwood is
the
most unremarkable lord, even when his weapon choices.
I mean, better than Roy.
That kind of. No, it is still weapon swap. So mine is interesting that Manikati and the Soulkati work in that way, because for mine, Merlinus appears with a small cart. And Lyn gives him the Manikati, and he swaps it out with the Soulkati, or vice versa. And they have differing attributes. So the Manikati is keeps Lyn lighter on her toes. She's faster, more ninja-esque. The Soulkati, being a weightier kind of scimitar kind of weapon as opposed to a katana, is slower to strike but more powerful. This doesn't really affect her running speed or anything. It's basically attack speed, so it's not a Pyra/Mithra situation.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My extra skill is it's called Astra. It's like a basic skill augment. So like when you activate it, like Lyn's blade gets like an aura around it. Like think of like Robin's up special like wind aesthetic around it.
Sure.
And then every time she attacks, like with her like side attack or like standard attack, she has like these extra hits come through. Like usually on two minor like additional hits, but then after she uses it too much, then she'll like be unable to wield her weapon for a bit. Like she'll be like exhausted, unable to use like standard attacks for a while if she overuses it. So it's like a quick augment that gives you like extra hits on your basic attacks, but you can only use it so much before she has to recover.
So she won't be able to attack at all while she's in the recovery.
This is like for a small window, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's potentially really dangerous. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Well, now that we've gone through all of the special moves and whatnot, now we gotta piss some people off. And pick some attacks.
Including ourselves.
But not others. I think we should start with the easy one and say which Final Smash variant we're going with. We've pretty much got, me and John did the same thing, where it's not a, well, I forgot the word, it's not a cinematic.
CGI?
It's just
Oh.
happening in the field and other people can be hit by it, versus Eric's variant where it is a cinematic. So, thoughts?
I was thinking like more in line with like if it were to be added to Ultimate today, but if you guys like are theorizing for like a new game, yours could definitely work just fine for sure.
How we typically approach it is we don't like we keep in mind what Sakurai has done in Smash from 64 all the way to Ultimate, but we're not wanting to keep ourselves beholden to any particular rules. So, otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to create an episode about Waluigi, who was an assist trophy, and Lyndis, actually, who has also been an assist.
And
So
this
we
is
look at this
yeah.
more as like not something that would be an ultimate character, be that base game or DLC, but it's more like if we were able to do our own Smash, this is what we would do for this character. So we have a
Yeah,
lot of things
yeah,
that
yeah.
so we've kept in mind that a lot of Final Smashes now are cinematic in nature, but kind of like how we've thought about it at times is like not everyone needs to be a cinematic, and sometimes you just want to have a little variety.
Yeah.
That's pretty much our philosophy.
Okay, I'm down with what you guys
Right.
had.
Okay.
I think so too. To kind of expound on what Lister said too. That's why we tend to avoid CGI, not when it matters much. Like Gengar's,
we've
for
had quite a
instance,
few that were cinematics, but if an attack doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a cinematic, then we do something different when possible.
Would you guys be down
Yeah,
for
yeah.
having like the FF7-esque health bar at the bottom at least, or no?
Oh,
That
yeah.
out
I'm
of
fine with
place?
that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. Just like Marth and Roy have. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that
Yeah,
Ike
I'm
doesn't
all
do
for
that.
it.
Now that I'm thinking about it. Why does Ike not? Is he the only Fire Emblem character that doesn't do that? No, Corn doesn't either, because Corn is a cinematic.
Hmm.
And so is
Yeah.
Byleth.
Yeah.
But all the classic ones, I
Violet
think,
just
do.
has yeah.
No, does Chrom?
Robin.
No.
I don't remember Robin's
yeah,
offhand.
yes.
But I know Lucina does.
Chroms does too. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So all four Marths do it.
Yeah. No, in this case, I think
Yeah,
the
I'm down for it.
non-CGI would be Mylene as well, and Pride of Decay should be what it's called.
Okay.
Solid.
All right. So I'm thinking up specials next, since all three of them are fairly similar.
Wow.
Well, not actually. Actually, that's a good point. Because I kind of feel like Eric, with your side and up special, it's kind of like you gotta have both or you gotta have
Or
none.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like what you have for both of them. My only negative on them is the fact that and then this kind of applies to like any character that we would discuss ever for Smash or whatever, is when a character uses somebody else's technique or their weapons. Like this is a thing in Smash official, sure, but to me it's like, okay, so now what would I do if I'm creating a Hector moveset? This move already belongs to Lyn, so now what am I going to do for him? So like I'm planning
He
on
takes up the slow Cotty.
I mean, maybe all three of them had that same mechanic. I don't know. But that's my only negative on it. Otherwise, I like those attacks a lot. It's just, should they
Likewise.
be Lyn's attacks
Likewise.
or should they be Hector and Eliwood's attacks? That said, there's no guarantee we'll ever do Hector or Eliwood, so who knows?
I definitely
Yeah.
had like, the ultimate approach, because I this came out like thinking like if it were to add it to ultimate today, like that's
Fair
like
enough.
the standard I came from, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. They're both extremely strong moves, though.
Oh, yeah.
And very multifaceted. So, from that angle, it's a very, 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 very strong job. I was impressed, and it came unexpected to me as well.
It's almost
Yeah.
like you're saying you didn't expect him to
Yeah.
come up with something good. Wow, what a dick move.
Yeah. We've come a long way from copying Lister's Pokemon Trainer Red.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. I'd also kind of think like Lyn doesn't have too much to work with without kind of having all three of them, right? And if she doesn't have all three kind of representing, it's kind of like not really representative of the game she came from, in my perspective, I guess. But that's kind of why I went that route.
Right. I mean, representing that game, sure, but when you approach it as here's a week where you can add any character you want, and you could do Lyn, Hector, Elliewood, Merlinus, Florina, Dorcas, Lilina, Roy. I'm trying to think of other characters. Nils, Nidian. You could theoretically you could add every single playable character from those games on there and have them all do their own things. Are they going to get a bit samey? Yeah, but
Is that a challenge?
There ain't nothing stopping you. I don't give a shit. Just don't copy my shit word for word. You know.
Good old Dojo TL.
So you think it's like so I know what you guys are saying too. It's kind of like future proofing a little bit, like for other characters, and then also kind of more representative of what Lyn actually does. I can definitely buy that for sure.
Yeah. So like if Ness didn't exist in Smash yet, or Lucas, like if Ness or Lucas wasn't in, and I also try and create a moveset for one of them right now, I would not give them, or I would not give Ness PK Fire and PK Thunder. I would give him his techniques that he actually has in Earthbound. I give him PK Rocket, the size shield.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else he has because I've been playing Earthbound finally, but I don't use his skills other than PK Rockin', so I don't remember them all offhand. Also, it's weird to me that Smash calls them PK, but Earthbound calls them PSI. Like, nothing is called PK, and it throws me the fuck off. It's like, this is weird.
I don't know if it's a Japanese thing or what.
I don't know. Maybe but then even his down special in Smash is called is PSI shield and not PK shield. So I don't fucking know. But that's pretty much how we look at it. Is like I like the attacks. Just this is Lyn.
What do you guys think of the mechanic of pressing the jump button to change the special into a different kind of like an evasive move?
That was strong.
What if we add that mechanic to one of your guys' ups or side specials in some regard?
Do you have a particular idea to pitch?
Like what's your guys' sides again? Is it like the slash across with somebody's?
Jonno's was essentially her assist shift where she's here, and now she's here. Kind of like it's Greninja's. It's Greninja's side special, and then mine was Ike's side special. But she does multiple hits along the way if you charge it up.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you on that then. I'll think about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
In that case, let's move. We've got so many things which are kind of just like mixed up. I'm trying to figure out what's the best one to look at next. Let's go to down special, actually. Let's go to down special. I had Vantage. It's pretty much counter. Jonno had Faint Slash, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Faint Slash, which is pretty much counter. And then we had Eric, forgetting what yours was called.
This is like the Manic Caddy, like based on the weaponry, but it could just be...
That's right.
I like the Vantage title, though, because like Astra, it would be a good title, too.
Right. And as far as what the mechanics for the three of ours, I prefer yours out of it. The omnidirectional counter, and the fact that she slashes in their direction, and then you could tap the jump button again. Or I don't know if it should be jump or it should be it's another type of down special. But either way, one of the jump or whatever it is, she can slash back towards and do a second. That's a really cool idea and something that we don't have in Smash yet.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was kind of thinking like some kind of skillful, like it doesn't have to be jump, but just like some kind of skillful timing button press to do like a stronger version of the move, right? Like what it's going for.
Yeah, precisely.
And that's really cool.
So maybe we could do that, like titled Vantage would be solid.
I'm down for that. Jonno?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
100% for it. Yeah,
so
when
Vantage,
Eric was talking about
Eric's
it, I was like, yeah,
mechanics. I like that. Yeah, it was pretty clear that it was better than both of ours. Very, very obvious there.
Mine was like Meta Knights kind of, and yours was like counter kind of, and there you go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Nice.
So let's look at. I guess we'll look at extra skill next. So I had Quickfire, the very fast bow projectile. It's weak, but it's insanely fast. Jonno was swapping Manicati out for Soul Caddy, which had some attack property changes. Eric's was Astra, where she gets power up, but if you use it too much, I can't do shit for a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think?
I think there's like some.
I like mine.
There's some conflicting. Like all these are kind of conflicting in their own way because
Yeah.
Astra kind of conflicts with Zantok's side, and then the bow kind of conflicts with her normal standard, like with me and John's standard, and then John's. It's fine, but like my costume change also had a weapon switch too, so.
And I'm assuming let's take a real quick side to here. Normally we do the costumes after all the moves and whatnot, but it sounds like you're saying for her alternate costumes, you think you should have half of them be her base outfit and the other half be her Blade Lord.
Lord, yeah.
Okay.
And then her weapon would change based on that. That's my thoughts.
Okay. For me, I just had it be just color changes of her base because I considered Blade Lord, but I didn't really. I figured somebody would bring it up, so I was like, yeah, screw it. But if we do that, and I'm totally good to do having half of them be Blade Lord, I do agree with you. Well, I kind of like the idea of it being a swap between Manicati and Soulcati in that respect. But then that also, if we do that, we cannot have Jonno's blade swap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of an either or. We can still have the Blade Lord thing, but we need to determine do we want to have her swap weapon on costume or potentially have an extra skill that swaps weapons.
Precisely. Yeah. Huh. Difficult. Eric's Astra takes liberally from the game while also being a very high risk move.
Because it destroys your durability, right? So.
Yeah. Then Lister's, I think, is very very utilitarian, very very useful. I guess the worry was the bow being used too many times. I don't know if it's really too big.
I mean, so far the bow is only guaranteed to be on the side special, or not side specialty up. Well, actually, it's not even guaranteed to be on the up special, considering what happens with Eliwood and Hector. So currently, the bow isn't slotted 100% anywhere.
Yeah, precisely.
But I'm actually kind of okay with like veering away from the Eliwood Hector stuff. I think that makes sense, because if it's not putting an ultimate, but rather just like of a new entity, right? I think that it's probably better just represent Lyn as best you can and just have them as like cameos, I guess. But
cameos work.
But I like the skillful button pressing to do another command. Yeah, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. As do I. I don't know, guys. Let's see.
Well, I mean, if we're wanting to look at doing something with like skillful button presses, we have that currently with Vantage. We could do. I'm not remembering. Okay, your up special was Blazing Durandal, or not Blazing, but Durandal. I was thinking of his heroes. His like his legendary version in Heroes is Blazing Durandal. But Jonno, yours was the backflip. Mine, Swift Sparrow, jump up, shoot one arrow, or jump short and do a volley of 3. You could do, instead of the holding down to jump short, maybe at the top of the jump, or actually, trying to think about where you would do that. Maybe here's a Swift potential addendum to Swift Sparrow. It's a jump. Doesn't shoot an arrow necessarily naturally, but if you press a standard special, if you press standard special after having done your jump, then you'll stop rising at that point, even if you haven't gone up very far at all, and then she'll pull out a volley of 3 arrows instead of just doing one regularly. That way you have that little button press in there as well.
Nice. Okay.
Maybe just like a second input of the special command, even like with a counter too. Like you press down B and then you press B at the same time they hit you, for like a double tap for like a double hit, right? And that would work
for Vantage.
Oh no, yeah. So I'm just trying to think like what button to press while like for the skillful one. It would just be special again, hey, because it'd be consistent across the.
Yeah. I agree.
I also see John's being a real thing too, like with say she's doing like a backflip, like a diagonal backflip, and then she presses B again, and then she fires a volley in that direction while propelling herself the other direction. For kind of like a this, you know. That could be a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Explain that to me again. I'm having a hard time envisioning it.
Okay, so it's like she has like a backflip like going like this way,
Mm-hmm.
and you press B, and then she fires a volley like this direction.
Oh, this direction.
Yeah, and then she goes that way.
And that's her up special.
Yeah, it could be like an arc like that, based on when you press the B button. Be interesting.
So she's backflipping and then shooting behind her.
Mm-hmm.
How do you shoot
propel-
behind you?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe upside down, and then she propels herself in the other direction. Could be a thing.
I think my struggle with this particular move, just in general, is that it sounds more like a side special to me than an up special, considering we're going sideways and not up.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
That's kind of been my struggle with it, just in general, from the beginning.
No, there's upwards movement. It's just
And you should
it's
still
just
be
at an arc.
You should still be at a recovery position by the end of it too. But
Mm-hmm. Huh. Interesting.
What do you guys
Nonetheless.
I think we're running low on time, and we need to come to some decisions
I'm thinking so as well.
here quickly.
Yeah.
But I think that the jumping volley is almost a given then with the bow, though. All things considered.
The sideways jumping or the up jumping?
No, just like something with the bow and the volley is
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. I concur. I don't know. Let's hop back to extra skill really quick. I think that we're saying weapon swap probably just shouldn't be a thing, and it would be simpler to say, hey, she can have the Soul Cadi in half of her costumes and the Manicati in another half of her costumes.
I think so.
Making it simpler, while having both swords on display. Yeah. So that brings us down to just Astra and
Quickfire.
your quickfire. Here, and we have two conflicting uses of Astra as well. And so it would be, if we're choosing one or the other, which would we prefer? Is also the question.
It's also the question of if we use Quickfire, then we're probably not using a different bow move on the standard special.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
Yeah.
we throw Quickfire to the standard special. That's another idea.
Yeah, put Quickfire. Make Quickfire be the. You can have the rain flinch, and then Quickfire could be the uncharged version, and you actually can charge it up to unleash a harder attack.
Yeah, why not?
So you'd have the option to either just tap into a super fast, super weak arrow shot, or hold it down to do the much stronger variant that was, I believe it's Eric's move that we're talking about? Or is it yours?
Oh, I was talking about mine.
Okay. Refresh me
But,
what yours was, because they're just different bow techniques.
Yeah, Eric's uses the brave bow, and he.
That's right. His was shooting twice.
Shooting quite a few in a row. Mine was using the legendary bow rain flinch, with Athos gives towards the end of the game, where the general function was Lyn being able to twirl the bow to reflect projectiles, and then having that a very strong shot, just shoot straight across. Not like as OP as Fail Not, but just a strong bow shot.
I don't know that those can be combined. Because if you try and combine Quickfire with that, then you're essentially cutting out the twirling.
Now, if you make it a standard move, rather the standard shot to be the quick shot. So just a quick tap of the special button, and then you are then able to hold the special button to essentially have a different function for the bow.
Okay.
Which would be the spinning and then the shot.
So if you're just holding it down, then she pulls out a different bow and then she moves into that animation. So it's
Sure.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is solid. Yeah, like this tap would be like Lister's quickfire. Holding it would be John's, and then maybe even if you're fully charged, you can still press jump and then do a backflip with a 3 scatter shot or something. And they combine all three of
Okay,
our
now we're getting too complicated. Oh god. We're putting 3 special moves in one. Remember, I have to write this all down and put it on the site after we're done here. Do not kill me.
It's fine. Because it still keeps the skillful button presses though too, right?
I don't doing the backward shot with his bow that does not mesh. Das. No.
Oh boy.
There's a line.
I do like the idea of combining quick shot in that though.
Mm-hmm. What was yours called again? Or did you just called it after the bow, correct?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. So if we have that set up there, then Astra becomes our last option for the extra skill.
Or we could just have Merlinus just appear.
And he just does nothing. He just dances.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eric. We're not going to do Astra. We're just going to have Marlinus just show up and dance for a little bit.
Oh, thanks.
It's completely useless. He's just there, but it's funny. But we're pretty much left with Astra at this point, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
As am I.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily dismiss your Astra either.
Mm-hmm.
You can just rename it or whatever, and then have it functionally be the same.
I mean, I named it that because it does 5 hits, and Astra makes you do 5 hits in 1 attack. So
oh yeah.
Kind of named that for a reason.
Yeah.
But what was your side special named?
It's quick draw, just like Ike's.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Precisely.
Eric's
Maybe we
was
should get a
Wolf
little bit
Spale,
more
which is
creative.
now kind of out. So we'd either need to go with mine and give it a new name, or go with yours and give it probably a new name.
Better name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, thoughts?
Between the two.
Well, maybe we can do like, because well, we can do like John's like with like the quick draw, like where it's like a slash forward, but then at the end of the dash, like when she reaches her end, if you press B at the perfect time, and she dashes back again, like in her counter. But because I'm kind of like I think Lister's is good with like Astra, but then that would also be kind of conflicting with the extra skill. But what do you guys think?
So from my understanding of Jonno's was that she's here and now she's just over here. She doesn't like dash. She just disappears and then reappears.
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
for ninjas.
But if you're in between them, like, don't you get hit?
No, I think it was just, if I'm understanding what Jonno's was correctly, it's just if they're hit, if there was somebody there where she reappears, they get hit. Otherwise, anybody in that extra space would not get hit.
Oh, I was thinking. Oh, go ahead.
Mine was anybody in this line would get hit with the multiple slashes. His was just
right. I did write it down as it works as it does as her assist trophy, pretty much exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So she does have that initial slash forward, but there is that moment where she disappears, and then the actual hitbox comes at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty fair to have like a quick side special, like where she dashes forward.
Yeah.
I feel like the dash forward, and then like if anyone caught in her path should take some hits, whether or not it's like an Astra 5 or just like a 1 clean hit. I'm not sure, but I think that's pretty in tune with like Lyn's identity. So
I mean, we could. So it sounds like you're more thinking my variant over Jonno's variant, right?
Seems like it.
Okay. Well, the name I had given to my standard special for was Swift Manicati, so maybe you can just change that to be the side special's name. The only slight weird thing there is that she's wielding the Soul Caddy instead of the Manicati.
Maybe just call it the Swift Caddy then.
or like it could be like the Swift Man Caddy / Soul Caddy or whatever. I think they do that in the game already. Depends, but
I mean,
True.
I could always just like throw in something generic too. Like I think you pretty much should like Swift Slash. Like technically, that's just it means nothing strictly to speak in the Fire Emblem because there's no skill that, but that's a valid descriptor.
Yeah, or like Flight of the Eric.
Yeah,
nice.
The occasional
Eric.
dream has come up. Yeah.
I think that's the move. Flight of the Eric.
Sweet.
Okay, perfect.
So we've got everything
Perfect.
except the standard special. No, that's right. We do. It's the combination of Quickfire with Legendary Bow, whatever it's called. Then side
Ryan
special is name TBD, but potentially Swift Slash, and it's essentially my Astra. Up special.
I
Fuck.
think we should do like the straight up jump and then press B when you want to do like the downward volley.
Right. Okay. So the variant on my Swift Sparrow, and then down special is called Vantage, but it's your mechanics. Final Smash it's the critical hit, but we're calling it Pride of Sakei. Extra skill is Eric's Astra. Okay.
And maybe also like to add on to like the up special, maybe like when she jumps straight up, you can also potentially aim what direction you like to fire the bow, and that could propel you in the opposite of that direction you fire. Maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. That was complicated. We had a lot of conflicting ideas. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes we get a nice, easy character like Toxicity, where everything all just like matches up. Sometimes we get an Adeline or a Lyndis, where it's a bit of a mess, and we gotta mech on through and figure our shit out.
Porky.
Porky was also.
Yeah.
It seems to always happen with guest episodes, where we just like
Yeah,
once we have the
yeah,
third
yeah.
person there, it's like, all right, let's figure this out because it's gonna be messy.
Mm-hmm.
Ezio was pretty easy though. Ezio isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But we have one final, actually I guess two final things to go over. Special unique traits. Wall jumping, crawling, wall clings, gliding. Did anybody have any ideas for Lyn on this?
Definitely have gliding. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think she's
wall
a glider
jump, I
for
feel
sure.
is a given. I think wall jump and wall cling would both be appropriate.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. I wrote down neither, but I didn't really care, so I'm good with those. Now we've got the last thing to figure out for Lyn, her home stage. We don't typically go into heavy detail with this. It's just so like, this is the place we think it should be, and if we have any basic thoughts or ideas, we can throw them out there. But key is we are not making the stage right here. This is just theoretical. I didn't really have much other than I just think it should be like the Sakaean Plains. That's just all I wrote down. I don't know what it'll be. I figure it's probably a grounded stage. I don't know what platforms it would have or how it would look other than, like, here's the grass. But that's all I had. What about you guys?
I concur. I also have it down as the Can Plains. I've been toying with this idea in my head for many, many years, fine-tuning it and whatever. So yeah, it's both basically mostly flat land, but you do have those Sakaean tents in the background. Maybe you can have one of them in the foreground to act, or two, or whatever, to act as a.
Maybe Merlinus pops out of one of them.
That would be excellent. Maybe he can bring his whole convoy there. You can see him running around on a horse. He can jump on top of it. He can knock it over and steal his items from out of the convoy.
I kind of like that. Like you could attack this convoy and items will fly out of it. That's actually an idea I like.
And you can have some Sakaean nomads fighting and like Myrmidons fighting bandits in the background.
Yeah. Eric?
Yeah, it's rap.
Yeah, mine was also the Sakaean Plains
Hey.
too.
Ending off with something nice and easy, that's all agreeing. Woo!
And the only thing I was saying that there would be like a potentially a destructible tent in the foreground, and then with like potential bandits as hazards that would jump in that could be easily KO'd or something.
One
Nice
of them named Gutone.
True.
Or Basta.
No. Anyways, well, guys, that's Lyn. Go ahead and let us know in the comments what you think about her. Anything that you would do for her moveset. If you think we were idiots doing one thing over another, or you think her stage should instead be, I don't know, Castle Regel. for some fucking reason because you don't know your Fire Emblems, and that would make no fucking sense. But hey, maybe you want to do that. I'm not in charge of you. But Eric, it's your second time around. Are you sick of us yet?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. That's a sick Ragnar I got there.
Oh yeah, from Gizmo's Forge on Etsy.
Thanks.
No, it was fun to be on for a Smashtopia episode for sure. It's really interesting to see all our different angles to like to Lyn and stuff, and like I think we came out with a pretty like cohesive, realistic moveset at the end of the day there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I would
it
say
takes a
so.
village. Sometimes it takes 3 idiots.
True.
And in this case, it took 3 idiots thinking on behalf of an entire village
Yes.
with all the back and forth.
Yes. But that's going to be all we have here for Lyn today, or Lyndis if you prefer. Next time, it's another Smasher Dash. This time we're going all Nintendo with it. Starting off with 2 characters from a franchise that only has 1 character in Smash. F-Zero.
Oh yeah.
What can we do for more F-Zero characters besides Captain Falcon? Who are we picking for
Mr.
this?
EAD?
We'll find out. Should be weird. And then the second half, well, you've heard of Project Rainfall, right? Right? Nope, nobody? Oh, yeah, yeah, me either. What's that again? I don't know. We'll find out next time. See you all then. Bye, everyone.